Best preserved Stone Age village.
Oh, where am I going here? I'm losing it. Like in front of you?
Yeah.
So as I said, we're going to be going in and looking at the village. This is the reception area. And we'll go out and look at the village itself. This is the reconstruction of the Skare Brae house and about how it was like inside. So this is the construction they had. Actually, it's a little taller than the actual construction that you would find, because they talked about how they would have to bend over to get in and out of the buildings. But here's a perfect example. This is what it was supposed to look like. This is what you'll see. Notice the beds, central fire spot for cooking, fire pit. They actually also had tanks to keeping, here's an example of that, where they could keep fresh animals alive in fresh water, in water. And this has been like a storage room.
Maybe a refrigerator?
Yeah. So this is a replica of what it would have looked like. Oops. Exit this way. And this is actually how the entrance would have been. It would have been lower like this, so they'd have to step down to get inside of it. So this gives you an idea of what Skara Brae would have looked like. This is what it would have looked like before it was ripped apart by the storms. This would be typical, well, not with the metal screen on it, but that would be a typical entrance there. So you can see the shape of it, you can see the construction of it here. Now we're going to walk out to the actual Skare Brae.
This was the first.
Yeah. No drones. Well, not a problem. This walk will take you 5,000 years back in time. Skara Brae. Oh, yeah, here. They talked about if you're having stones, talking about going back in time, telephone invented. So we've seen the reproduction of it, but here is the actual buildings here. Here's some that has not been, no archaeology has been done here, obviously. They're leaving it as ruins because archaeology is actually a destructive science. Because as you're digging down through, you're destroying what you're going through. So they try to leave as much as they can for future times when archaeology might be more advanced and they wouldn't have to worry about it so much. But here we see some of them here. This one hasn't been a lot of archaeology done, but you can see about what they would have discovered at the time. And there's Skare Brae over there. We've kind of gone off the beaten path. I want to get back over to where Skare Brae is. Before the, frankly, before the crowd reaches it. Alrighty.
When we come back, we have time to go to run down to the beach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we got time here. It's right over there.
Mm-hmm.
It's right over there.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, imagine how much of this was buried.
Yeah. So this is, these have been excavated.
We just walked past the birds of Christ.
Yeah. These are been excavated.
Great Wall of China.
And the and of course the way they got uncovered was storms came in, was washing away the shoreline. So they got uncovered in the 1800s and were pretty much forgotten about for a while until the 1920s, if I remember correctly. And it was in the 1920s they started to do a lot of the excavations to what we find today. So this is us walking up to it. And you can see the shoreline behind me. You can see my wife in the background also. And here we go. And here's the excavated sections. Here's the entrance itself. And as it says here, 3100 BC, Skare Brae. Now these are the actual homes that have been excavated by archaeologists. And the sad thing is, a lot was lost in the 1800s when they went through with the antiquarians, because they didn't have the same system of recording. Hello.
How are you?
Good, good.
Yeah. Can I have your tickets for me?
Oh. All right.
That's lovely. Yeah, so keep them safe because you need them for scale.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Lovely. So there's information you follow the path around. Any questions, let me know. Okay.
All right,
Sure.
thank you.
Thank you.
So these are the actual excavations. There's those stones we saw at the other place that we talked about. But this is the actual excavation.
Look at all the shells.
Yeah.
Look at that party.
Uh-huh. Different sizes. You can see the central hearth there. Built in two main phases. Since this investigation would require demolition of later houses, building in front of you is one of the earliest Skare Brae. It has a simple plan to the later houses, except the box beds are built into the wall rather than projecting into the room. And I've seen pictures of these before. So you can see the beds in the wall. So this was an earlier home. And we'll get moving here in a second. Here you can see the entranceways, how low they were. This one seems to be somewhat intact. Serving carvings. Again, you can see another entrance over there. You can see how they were roofed over with large stones, but much shallower than what we saw in the reconstructed homes. Much shallower. They would have gone from spot to spot, not going outside. Now they feel they had a number of reasons for that. One could have been defense. One, it could have been just because of the harsh winters. It allowed them not to have to go outside at all. And here you can see the plan right here. We're standing here. See the main passage, living areas, the hearth, the drain that's over there. And it was 50 to 100 people lived here. 10 structures, mostly houses. So you can see the hearth over there.
Would these have been thatched roofs or saddis?
Well, the ones they reconstructed have sod, although I've heard thatch too. They were rounded though, they weren't square, round corners. Again, you can see, now over here, these are the more modern houses. You can see larger. You can see that they have areas for shelving, all that sort of thing. Yes, one of the things here was a workshop, but there were living spaces here. There's the beds.
Well, that makes sense. They probably worked where they lived, eh?
Yep. They have it sodded over. And again, they're not sure if it was always sod or not. Some thought that it could have been earthen. Here, this is another one. Beds, hearth.
Does the height mean that they were likely shorter than we are?
No, the roof would have been way up here. Roof would have been way up here.
Oh, okay.
The entranceways were short, and as they say, it was either possibly to keep heat inside. You have a low entrance, defense, or the other reason.
Okay, or keep elements out too, probably.
Well, that's the other thing, is the weather. And refuse, they would use midden on top to insulate. They call it refuse here, but archaeologists would call it midden. And you can see how low it really was for them to get in and out. And again, it was for a number of reasons. They're not quite sure why. Just amazing. These people were just like us in so many ways. They really were. There's another look at it. See a little bit better some of the construction. And partially this was, as I say, exposed from storms. Shelving over there in the freshwater tank, hearth in the middle, and the entranceway is right there. And you can see how low the entranceway is, and you can see that they had stones that would have blocked it off too. That's the entranceway right down there. Ooh. You can see kind of an entrance there. That has been blocked off. It won't allow you back down in there. This is a more modern house, rectangular pattern. Dresser, prized objects were perhaps stored, displayed. Hearth is in the center. Either side of a box bed. Small tanks in the floor were for fish bait and or fish that were caught. Again, this is a perfect example right here of the entrance. This would have been roofed over, midden on top. You can see how they had a way to close off the doors right there. So each section was sealed off. This goes to this house here, and then it goes, well, sort of under the bridge, goes into another house there. So everything was interconnected at every place. They literally never had to leave. So what happened to Skare Brae? Well, historians and archaeologists say they just sort of grayed out. As people got older, people moved away. Larger groups, larger urban centers came about. And these things just sort of grayed out, just like many little towns that might be around your house. You might drive by, and all you'll see is a little sign that says Hicksville or something like that, and there's two houses. That's sort of what happened here. Over a period of time, people just moved away. Again, a good idea of how short the interconnecting walkways were. You'd have to bend over. So, to be honest, this is something I've wanted to see for 20 years. Ever since I started teaching world history and Western civilization. So let's see. Let's walk around. We beat the crowd, thankfully. That was a good idea. Now we're going to go up to the visitor center, somewhere along the line.
It was so smart. We should do a scale house first.
Yeah. Now, scale house. On the bus they said the local farmer. This is the local farmer's house. He was a lord. So it wasn't like he was just a farmer. And this is where he lived. Scale house. So we'll pick you up there. And but for Skara Brae, this is it. So again, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, ring the bell. Thank you very much. And now we'll go up to the Skaill house and see what's up there.